One of the days that I had scheduled to fish ended up only being about a half a day. My wife's idea of going along on these sort of trips is to sit in the car reading a book while I have my own adventure. Because I was planning on being back well before dark, I jokingly told her that if I wasn't back by dark, that she shouldn't just worry, she should panic. This was a poor choice, as you'll see. I was exploring someplace new. I started out on an old gravel road, but before long, it turned into not much trail at all, just the way I like it. In southeast Alaska, old roads can actually be some of the worst places to walk. Because of the plentiful sunlight, thousands of trees will start competing to see who can grow the fastest and capture that sunlight for good. Once you get in the deep forest, there really aren't any reference points because there's too many trees, so I made sure to mark the trail back. Walking on old wet logs isn't a great idea, but it was faster than trying to push through thick brush, so I did it anyways. Once you get in the older forest, walking's actually a lot easier because the shade eliminates a lot of the brush that's found in the more open areas. However, if you take a wrong turn, you're going to be facing impenetrable brush in a hurry. I wanted to fish where this river dumped into the mouth of a lake. Eventually I found where the river met the lake. There was a large meadow in the area, and the scenery was absolutely phenomenal. It had been raining most of the day, but the mist definitely added to the ambiance. Where the river flowed into the lake, there was a wide delta that was fairly easy to cross compared to the deep waters of the rest of the river. Once I made it across, I made my biggest mistake of the day. I decided to fish on the far side of the river and worry about crossing it when I found a good place. I worked my way up the river, found a lot of good fishing holes, but they don't call steelhead the fish of 1,000 casts for no reason. To this point, I was only on cast 50 or 100 of the day. I kinda had a place in mind to cross, but when I got there, the water was a lot more swift than I thought, and a lot more treacherous. So I got myself in a bit of a pickle. Nothing we can't overcome, I don't think. But back at the lake, I crossed the stream where it was all spread out where it went into the lake, thinking that there was a branch up here in the stream. And there kind of was, but where it was, there was all sorts of fallen logs and stuff, and just crossing through there wasn't going to be safe at all. So I thought that that was the main branch, but it wasn't. It came back together. So now I've got pretty deep water moving too fast for me to comfortably wade. And it's really tannin stained, so I can't really see how deep it is. It could only be ankle deep all the way across, but because it's so stained, I really can't see how deep it is. So I'm just going to follow it. Eventually I'll hit the highway, and then once I hit the highway, then I can cross the bridge and get back to my car that way. Shouldn't be too bad. Should be kind of an adventure. We'll just kind of fish it for a bit and see how it goes. Kind of regretting taking this side of the river now. It was super easy coming back to where I thought I could cross. Now it's steep. Surprised a big old otter that was sitting on the side of the stream. Scared me as much as I scared him, I think, because I'm not into finding black things laying around since bears will be out shortly. But here goes. Let's keep on working our way along the stream until we find a place we can cross, which probably will be the bridge. But the truth, I can either slide down here and hope I can get along the river, or I can work my way up through that and find a higher trail. I think I'm gonna slide down. Well, the decision to go down seemed to have panned out okay.
I've been walking along the river for 10 minutes or so, and there's pockets of thick brush, but for the most part, pretty passable. River's still right there. I want to be fishing, but since my wife's waiting for me, and I don't want her to worry too much, I gotta make sure I get back in time. Oh, there's a landmark I was looking for. So this stream dumps in, so there should start being less water in the main stream, so I may be able to cross. If I can do that, then I can follow that fork to a bridge that's a little closer. We'll have to see. It's been another half hour or so, still going. I think I can see the mountain that the road's up against, so probably half hour or so, and I should be there, I think. All goes well. Never know what you're going to run into, though. It's pretty gnarly country. It can go from easy to difficult in about 2 steps. That's pretty gnarly. We'll try and stay out of that. Hopefully I can stay off to the side. Pretty cool. I bet there's some fish in there. Trying to get to where you could catch them might be a little tough, but I bet you could do it. So I just heard a car go by, so I think the road, the top of that embankment, the last 10 minutes have been walking through stuff like this. There's the road from the time I decided to hike until I made it to the road was about an hour, 20 minutes. I've got probably about an hour of walking left, but it'll all be on roads, so it'll be super easy. And I should get back before dark, which means my wife won't be too panicked. There's the stream, not hard to cross now.
I was able to move pretty quick along the dirt roads, and I actually made it back to my car with about 20 minutes to spare. My wife was still enjoying her book, and there was zero panic to be found. However, I had a newfound appreciation for the effect of simple decisions in some places wild as southeast Alaska. But you can bet I'll be back out as soon as I get another opportunity.